Oh, sometimes we block.
Okay.
Is Carol able to come or no?
Negative.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and open the meeting. This is a meeting of the select board. Today's date is November 1st, 2024, and it is 5:06 p.m. So we have just a little bit of business to handle today. First, we need to open the warrant for the special town meeting in order to make an article adjustment. So I will ask for a motion to go ahead and open the warrant for the special town meeting on Monday, November 18th, 2024.
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor, Kirk,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye. So the warrant is open. And then I'm gonna just probably take this just slightly out of order, right? Because I think we should probably make the adjustment to the article before we make recommendations. So Heather, you want to just tell us what we need to change?
Yes, so our legal counsel, Brian Folk, took a look at this. He made a couple language changes, and we did one subtraction. So the last article that was here before, which was the zoning bylaws for MBTA, the planning board hearing on Tuesday, the planning board made the decision to reduce the scope of their hearing to everything but the MBTA because there were some outstanding questions. So we wanted to make sure we had every answer we needed for the residents and could answer things competently, and we could not at that moment. So in consultation with Brian, he had suggested that we hold off on the MBTA, continue pursuing answers, holding information sessions and so forth, and see that for the special town or the annual town meeting. So that article here has been dropped entirely. And then the other article that has a few changes to it is just the way it looks. And that's Article 10, zoning map and zoning bylaw. So Brian recommended that we actually break it down to two sub pieces, one for the zoning map, and the other one is the zoning bylaw, meaning everything in its entirety but for the accessory dwelling units. At this time, attached to this document draft that everyone has, is the language for the right to farm bylaw, is the language for the revolving fund bylaw. What you do not currently have attached to this yet, and I'll have it for Monday morning, Brian promises me, is just the attachment of the proposed zoning change overview map, which I think everyone has seen. It's that pretty colored map that the red is the business district. And then the second piece is just the zoning bylaws. So Brian didn't make any changes to them with one caveat, which I'll mention in a second. Since he got him back from planning board, but because he wanted us to pull out the ADU as its separate article all on its own, he wanted to pull out any of the definitions, any of the related sections for the ADU to put it directly down below in Article 11, so that in any chance that the ADU did not pass, you didn't have remnants of it hanging out in the regular bylaw, and same thing vice versa. So just to clean it up. And he also is going in to make sure we take out the same way all of the references to MBTA, since we're holding on that. So it's a little bit more cumbersome than I would have hoped. And I did ask him to take care of that to make sure we didn't make any errors and accidentally have any oversight missing that piece. But substantially nothing has changed since then. The only caveat I'd say is in Brian's review of the chicken section under the use tables, which has got a lot of debate. He did make a recommendation. I don't know what his specific wording is going to be because I haven't seen his revision yet, but when we discussed it, there's going to be a little bit of a caveat next to the chicken section, because as Brian read the bylaw, because it's in the agricultural section and not in the accessory use section, he applied it only to commercial farms and not to residences in general, which was, the whole body of the debate and the discussion, and I think everyone's intent. So he is putting a caveat to make a note on that bylaw in the bylaw itself. So I don't know what the specific language is, that because I do not have it. I do highly anticipate that come town meeting floor, there will likely be an amendment to the use table relative to the potential of chickens. So That's all I have for the updates here. So that's the major changes are, Article 12 went away. You don't see that on here, the MBTA. Article 10 is divided into the two pieces. And then throughout the entire document, I just updated per Mark's request, Finance Committee recommendation to be made at special town meeting. And the one that had capital, I think I had two, but it should have only been one for the capital stabilization. That has the mirrored image for capital.
Okay. And that's primarily just because they don't have the opportunity to meet before
Correct.
special town meeting, so. Okay, so I'm going to ask for a motion to remove the previous Article 12, which was the MBTA portion of the zoning bylaws, and amend Article 10 and 11 as per the attached. Does that work?
So moved.
All right, I'll second that. Any further discussion? This is just placing the articles on the warrant. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. So the articles are now on the warrant. We can close the warrant and we can make our recommendations. I don't know that there is a specific order to that we need to follow. I think we can go ahead and close the warrant since we're up to that and then make our recommendations. So I'll ask for a motion to close the warrant.
I make a motion to close the warrant.
All right, I will second that. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
And I will vote aye, so the warrant is now closed. And then we can start our recommendations. We made recommendations up through Article 9, is that correct? And so we just need to start with Article 10. So Article 10 is the zoning map and the zoning bylaw. As you heard, the language has changed a little bit. There will be an updated version coming to us, but Brian from legal is working on that as we speak. I personally have all the faith in the world in Brian to make sure that it is accurate. And I'm happy to go ahead and make a recommendation tonight, even though we don't have the actual language yet. So if you're comfortable, Kirk, making a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, so the motion is for approval, recommendation at town meeting. I will go ahead and second that motion. Any further discussion, Kirk?
No, ma'am.
All right, all those in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. So we're going to go ahead and recommend approval on that one. And then moving down to Article 11, same comments on that with regard to ongoing amendments from Brian in legal. I don't anticipate any problems. We'll have a final version, probably what, Monday, Heather, you said? Yeah, and so then we will have that language in our hands long before town meeting anyway. So so go ahead, Kirk, do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion for approval.
All right, I'll second that. Any further discussion on that recommendation?
No, ma'am.
All right, Kirk, I seconded. Okay, yep. All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. So go ahead and recommend approval for Article 11.
Julia, it appears Mark has his hand up. His
Oh,
virtual
so
hand.
sorry, Mark, I didn't see that. Go ahead, Mark.
Can you scroll down or up to go to Article 10? Just a question, on the original draft, Article 10 was Article 11. And now it's 10, which means one got dropped. What got dropped?
Hang on a second, Mark. I don't know. If I missed something. MBTA was 12, ADU was 11, and the zoning bylaws was 10. So we have 11 total, and we have 11 total.
Not the one that I downloaded from the meeting materials. Maybe I don't have
Oh.
the,
Because if
Yeah.
you downloaded the one I don't know if the one from the meeting materials, Mark, had the right to farm bylaw in it. The one I
was-
emailed you yesterday should have.
No, I think it,
Okay,
I think it did, but there was one missing on that original meeting materials, Mark, yeah. Mhm. I don't remember which one
Okay.
it was,
I
but
mean, we
yeah,
can, this is the one from the 20, I mean, we can go back. That's 7:42, so that would have been live action in the meeting. So if you go back to the one at 6:29 PM, so right before the meeting. Let's see, MS4, right to farm, revolving fund, expenditure, reduce the budget, capital, operating, citizens. I'm seeing all the same ones, so I'm not sure. Right to
I
farm
just,
internet
appears
rate.
I have a different document, so I'll follow up. Don't need to hold the meeting up. Thank you.
Okay, just let me
Okay.
know, Mark. We'll take a look and see what the difference is.
yeah. Yeah, there was a difference from what we had distributed and what was available at town meeting, not town meeting, I'm sorry, at the select board meeting just shortly before. Okay, so Heather, can you go back to the agenda?
Yes.
And who is on iPhone? Do you see that?
I do, but I do not know who that is.
Nope. Apparently they're
Apparently
done.
they didn't want to be on iPhone. All right.
Okay. All right,
I did not do anything other than switch the screen, just for
I
the
don't,
record.
I don't know if it was appropriate for me to ask, but I do like for people to be identified if they're going to be here.
Yes. All right, so we're back to the agenda, I think.
yeah. All right, so the last thing that we have to do today is to vote to affirm or reject the appointment of the new permitting and community development candidate by the town administrator in accordance with the Town Special Act Section 7. So Heather, do you want to introduce your candidate?
Sure, yes. Well, she's not here in the
That's okay.
virtual room, but it's actually someone we all know. So we received a number of candidates for this position. Mike and I, the fire chief, sat down. We did a number of interviews. I think we actually interviewed 7 people in person. We did a couple second round interviews, and we had made sure when we posted this, we posted it until filled. We were excited. We actually got an application from Tiffany Sidholm, who is our DPW admin right now. And she is very excited about the position. It seems like it would be a great opportunity for her, a different direction. She's very excited. She will start in about 2 weeks if the select board affirms the appointment, and we will proceed on Monday, working with the DPW to get her current position posted.
All right, great. So we know Tiffany very well, and I'm happy to see that she has decided to put in for this very important position. I think she's a great candidate for it. I think she's got a great personality for this position. So I'm very happy with that selection. Kirk, any comments?
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, I will second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. So you are affirmed for your appointment of Tiffany Sidholm to the new permitting and community development position. All right. Great. So we have public comment on here. Any public comment?
Who's
I
on the
would just echo the affirmation of the vote a minute ago. I will confess I did not see that coming. But I'm glad it came. That's a great appointment. I'm sure the Finance Committee and Economic Development Committee is going to embrace it with open arms. So congratulations.
Very good.
Our condolences to DPW, but congratulations otherwise. So, wow, it's a good move.
It is. I agree. Yep. So very happy with that. And we'll, I'm sure Heather will work with the DPW director in order to backfill that position with somebody appropriate, and that'll be the next step. Okay, perfect. Any further public comment? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Happy Friday.
I'll second that. All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. We are adjourned.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good
Thank
weekend,
you, Mark.
everybody.
Take care. All right, guys.